G'day all, so in this video here we're going to be looking at figuring out the charges and specifically this one of an antiproton. Okay, so first we'll just go over this question here, and the antiparticle of a proton is an antiproton. So that's just some knowledge at the start. It is made up of two up antiquarks, so two up antiquarks and a down antiquark. Ooh. Okay, so that's telling us what's in it. Okay, what is the charge of the antiproton? So that's our question there. Show that this is consistent with the charges of its component quark. So that means we need to state what it is, but we also need to show. Okay, and what I've given you here is the table with our information that you would be sort of relying on for this type of question here. So first, we know hopefully a proton. Okay, so a proton, this has a charge, I forgot the AM. This has a charge of +1. Hopefully you know that from some basic physics we've done or what we've already looked at or something. So our proton, it's got a charge of +1. Okay, it's just like how electrons got -1. So just remember the anti of it is the opposite. Okay, so an antiproton, so if it's the opposite, this means it's going to be -1. Okay, so now all we need to do is, what is the charge of an antiproton? We've stated that. That's just a bit of knowledge, okay? Where the opposite, it just means it's the opposite charge. Okay, so the antiproton, that's going to be -1 because the proton is +1. Alright, so now we just need to prove this or show this is consistent with the charges of its components quarks. So this just means that we need to put together our quarks that makes it up. So I was just drawing here, we've got 3 quarks in it, okay, and it says it's made of 2 up antiquarks, and I'm just going to draw a little arrow to show its direction, 2 up antiquarks and a down antiquark. Okay, so, or I could do the little symbols there, that's probably better if it lets me erase them. So I'll do the symbols that are there. So we got 3, we got an up, and a down. Okay, so we just need to put together these charges. Okay, so an up quark, this has a charge of +2/3, and we have 2 of them. Okay, and a down, this has a charge of -1/3. Okay, but we have 1 of them. So with this, these are our quark symbols. Okay, so if we added these together, this would give us our proton charge, but we are looking at the antiquark. So antiquarks, these work the same. These have opposite charge of quarks. Oh, don't know what happened to my A there. Okay, so our normal ones, okay, so this would find our proton if we added it all together up here. Okay, so if you plus 2/3, that would give you 4/3 minus 1/3, so this would equal 3/3, which would be +1. Okay, so our antiquarks, these are going to have the opposite charge. So with this, we're going to have 2/3, and there's going to be 2 of these. And we're going to have 1 positive 1/3. So I'm just going to put an A in the front. So this is going to be our anti-up charge, and this is going to be our anti-down charge. Okay? So we just need to put all these together. So it's minus 2/3 minus 2/3 plus 1/3. Okay? Hopefully you can do some simple maths with fractions there, and that will equal negative 3/3, which simplifies down to negative 1. So just recapping this question and some important bits that we need to do. First, you need to realize that your proton charge, this is positive 1. Okay? And then you need to realize an antiparticle is the opposite charge. So the antiproton is going to be negative 1. All particles are the opposite charge of their sort of normal counterparts here. So with this is how you figure out our normal proton, okay, with our up and down quarks, okay, and this table, this is for our normal quarks. Ooh. Sorry, writing all over everything. Okay, so that's for our normal quarks. So you need to realize that you need to change the charge symbol of this for our, okay, because antiquarks, they are the opposite charge, just like every other particle. Okay, just remember, our quarks make up your protons and those types of things. Alright, so hopefully this helps with this types of question, and you can remember the relationship between antiparticles and particles and making up the quarks, putting together the quarks that make up these. Alright, so good luck.